You don't really love them. You just love the idea of them. And see, that's one of the hardest pills to ever swallow. Why? Because it forces you to admit what you've been fighting for all this time wasn't even them. It was the story that you built in your head. You didn't fall in love with who they consistently showed up as. You fell in love with who you thought that they will become. And that's why, the relationship feels like an endless loop of almost happy, almost consistent, almost healed, almost the person that you needed. And almost is a dangerous drug because it keeps you hanging on without ever actually feeding you. You know what I'm saying? You kept convincing yourself that if you just stayed a little bit longer, if you just loved a little bit harder, if you just forgave one more time, eventually the version of them that you saw in your head would show up in real life. That's what you told yourself. But here's the truth. They already showed you who they are. Reality has been in front of you the whole time. But because you're so addicted to potential, you blurred the lines between who they are and who you wanted them to be. And let me tell you, loving potential is like holding on to a movie screen. You can see it clear, yeah, but you can never touch it. You can never hold it, and you can never build a life on it. That's the main thing. You're not missing them right now. You're missing the illusion. That's why it feels so confusing, because your heart is grieving something that never even existed outside of your imagination. And it's a hard truth to really grasp. And that's why it feels harder to walk away, because deep down, you're not letting go of a person. You're letting go of a dream you poured your whole self into. And it's difficult. You thought they were going to be your peace. You thought they were going to be your partner, your safe place, your safe space. But instead, they became your trigger, your doubt, your chaos. You love the idea that one day they finally, see your worth. One day they wake up and realize that they had everything that they needed standing right in front of them. But guess what? That day never came. And it's not coming. Because people don't transform by accident. People don't suddenly evolve just because we need them to. They evolve when they want to. And if they haven't wanted to by now, what makes you think that they're about to? Ask yourself this question. And you know what's crazy? The more you try to drag the fantasy into reality, the more you lost yourself. You watered fake seeds. You begged dead soil to grow. You tried to squeeze the life out of something that was never alive to begin with, And that's why you're tired. That's why you're tired. Not because love itself is exhausting, no. But because maintaining a lie is exhausting. That's why you're tired. You're not weak for holding on, That's what you got to understand. You're human. We all want that fairy tale. Let's be honest. We all want that the story where love fixes everything. But you can't confuse healing with hoping. Hoping that they'll change is not healing. Wishing they love you better is not healing. Holding on to an idea is not healing. It's self-destruction dressed up as loyalty. And here's what you have to ask yourself. Do I love them? Or do I love what I thought we could be? And if you're honest, most of you will admit you love the potential, not the person. Because real love is not supposed to leave you feeling empty every night. Real love is not supposed to have you questioning if you are enough. Real love is not supposed to make you play investigator, therapist, and parent all in one. That's not what real love is. Real love doesn't live in potential. It lives in presence. It's not about maybe one day they'll show up. It's about they show up every single day. It's not about if I prove myself, they'll treat me right. You know what I'm saying? Only if I prove myself. It's about they treat me right without having to beg. And if you can't say that that's what you have right now, then stop calling it love. It's an idea. And that idea has been running your life for way, way, way too long. Aren't you tired? So here's what you do. You strip away the fantasy. You write it down if you have to. On one side of the page, list who they really are. What they really do. How they really treat you. And on the other side, list the version of them you've been holding on to in your mind. And then look at that gap. You know what I'm saying? That gap is the prison that you've been living in, right there. That gap is the reason you feel so stuck. Because the bigger the gap between who they are and who you want them to be, the more pain that you're actually going to feel. And no matter how much you pour into them, you can't close the gap for them. I promise you that. They have to want to. They have to want it for themselves. And if they don't, then you're signing up for a lifetime of heartbreak. You better run while you can. That's why you've got to stop romanticizing what it could be and start respecting what it is. See, the truth may hurt once, but the fantasy will hurt you every single day you hold on to it. If this finds you, understand this. You don't really love them. You don't. You love the version of them that lived in your imagination, and you've been loyal to a dream instead of loyal to yourself. And now it's time to choose you. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop chasing ghosts. It's time to stop playing director in a movie where the actor never even wanted the role. Because the longer you stay in love with an idea, the more you delay the real thing. And the real thing, it doesn't confuse you. It doesn't break you. It does not leave you questioning your worth. It affirms you. It builds you. It protects you. Stop being in love with the what if and start loving yourself enough to demand the what is. Because when you do that, you will finally see the truth. You were never in love with them. You were in love with what you thought that they could be. And once you actually let go of that, you'll be free to finally find someone who is everything you could have dreamed of. And not just in your head, but in real life. I know it's so hard letting go of potential. I've done it. I remember I used to try to convince my ex, this is what we can do. Look at what we can do. We can be this. We can be powerful together. We can just love each other. But if it's not a mutual thing, it's not a mutual thing that you guys both want, and you guys have to both want to put in the work. Not even want to put in the work. You guys both have to put in the work. But if one person is putting in the work and another person ain't, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be off balance. And so many of us are just holding on to that potential. I was for so long. At some point, you're going to have to just let it go. You're going to have to realize the patterns and understand that nothing is getting better right now. It hasn't been getting better for the last couple of years. So what are you going to do? Just sit there and stay in that misery? No. Easier said than done. I always say that. Of course, it was hard for me, but it is doable. And when you do it, you feel free. And it's not you walking away bitter. It's not you walking away mad. It's you walking away because you know you deserve better. If you fought and you did everything in your power to try to keep this together, and it's just not coming together, you have to make a decision. Life is too short to be holding on to what is breaking you. Let it go. If you are having a hard time letting go, you can check out my new ebook, Letting Go When God Says So. The link is in the description. And until next time, handle your business. Peace.